A lot of things to learn from, a lot of things to be proud of, a lot of things to be disappointed in, but it was a win. I thought the crowd was great, great environment, and they made some shots. Obviously, I think Ty Taylor did an unbelievable job getting to Chris Clemens early and not letting him feel comfortable. And I don't know if he was cramping or it was an ankle. I mean, I have no idea what the injury was, but Ty might have caused the injury, with his defense. And 4 guys in double figures. Obviously, I like seeing that. 2 guys with double doubles. Marquis had 10 rebounds, so that's terrific. It was a game of runs. We got off to a hot start. It was real easy, and I think our guys thought it was going to be easy the rest of the game, and so we started forcing passes too quickly and getting turnovers. And I told them at halftime we had 10 turnovers. If we don't get a shot, even if we miss that shot, Devontae might go get the rebound. He had 6 offensive boards. He had 8 offensive boards last time we played. So we need to get shots and not turn the ball over so quickly, trying to force it when it was easy at a time. Their defense adjusted. They went zone. They slowed us down in the first half. Second half, we came out and just sort of got lulled to sleep, I think, a little bit. And they started making some threes, and all of a sudden they're winning the game. And called a timeout, just tell them to stick with what we do. Run our stuff. It's about getting stops on one end and about getting shots on the other. And when we work to get shots, we usually take pretty good ones. It's when we start trying to do a little bit too much on our own, that's when we don't take as good a shot. So I was proud of how we responded to a little bit of adversity, being down. And they had a little run going and fought back and took a nice lead. I think we're up 8 or 9 with about, less than 2 minutes to go for sure. But then they started making threes and getting to the basket and us giving a couple and ones. We talk all the time about just have your hands up. Don't reach in there. Don't try and do anything crazy because and ones are just as bad as giving up a three-pointer. But, we're 2-1. Man, we really out-rebounded them. That's great. 44-23. I put on the board before the game, dominate the backboards, and I guess we did that. If you would tell me we're going to out-rebound them by 19 points, or no, 21 rebounds, I would say we'd win pretty easily. But I just looked at that, too, 20 turnovers. So, man, we had 10 turnovers in the second half, too. That's the reason why it ended up being pretty close. So, I talk enough?
Jordan and Devontae both had double-doubles tonight, but the story kind of is Ty Taylor and Jalen Ford both stepping up. How proud of you are those guys?
Very proud. Jalen has had a long summer, and his body was broke down a little bit. His mother passed away, and for him to make some big shots, and he had two cousins on the other team there. The Whitfield boys are his cousins, and so I think he wanted to play well against them, and he did. Ty Taylor, that's about as good a game as I could have hoped Ty Taylor would have played. To get into Clemens like that, he made some shots, but I've been really telling him he needs to start rebounding more. I was hoping for 5 rebounds a game. He got 9. He almost had a double-double. So that's terrific because you think guarding that little guy, he's going to be way out there on the perimeter, and going to get those rebounds is really great. And that also means they had some long shots that he had to chase down. But I was proud of everybody. I thought everybody did some good things, and obviously some stuff that we can learn from for the rest of the week before we get into next week.
Well, not only did he have a couple of rebounds and shot the ball well, but he also blocked some shots. And he admitted that defense has not been always part of his game all that great. What made you feel okay with him going up against the nation's leading scorer?
Well, he has the tools to be a great defensive player, and maybe that instilled some confidence in him that we had in him, and he didn't know it. I think he can be a great defensive player for us at all times. I think Jaquel Richmond can be a great defensive player for us too, and Jaquel got some minutes tonight, 16. That's good. Obviously, he's rusty. It's the first game of the year. He's only practiced twice since his injury, so I was proud of what he did. But, yeah, Ty, the stat sheets are pretty darn impressive. We had a lot of guys that do a lot of really good things tonight, and in looking at that, you would think it wouldn't have been as close as it ended up being at the end. But, that might help us. Close games down the stretch. We made some free throws. I wouldn't say we got the stops that we needed to, but we got it inbound and got fouled. And, they had to go to the monitor a couple times to see whose ball it was, and luckily it was ours the last time.
Take us inside some of those media timeouts in the second half when you gave up the lead. Did you see, were the players, were they wide-eyed? How do you think they responded to that adversity of, giving up the lead after, having it for most of the game and committing so many turnovers?
Yeah, I think they were a little nervous, a little anxious, but we're just trying to settle them down, saying, do what we do what we've practiced every day. We run secondary. We get into a motion if they're in zone or man. We can always end it with a ball screen because Tally's really good at attacking ball screens, and he obviously did a great job having 14 assists. But people have to make shots for somebody to have 14 assists too. So we had guys that were making shots, but we came out of that timeout and a couple good things happened from what I recall. I think it was a 7-point lead maybe, and it got down to 3 real quick. And I think that just gave them the extra confidence because I think the next media timeout it might have been tied. And so I told them at that next media timeout, hey, that was only 3 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. We got to do that the rest of the game. The game's not over because of 3 minutes. And but they did a nice job responding when they needed to.
Turnovers led to points for them. I think at one point, like 24 of their 52 points were off turnovers at one point in the game. Just what do you have to do to, A, not turn over and not let them lead to those points?
Yeah, we need to work on that. They had 31 points off of turnovers. And I've told our guys I'd rather them just throw it out of bounds because we can set up our defense. Live ball turnovers in transition, it's hard to pick up. And then if they shoot, it's hard to box out. Any kind of transition defense is very difficult, and obviously the turnovers led to that. I had no idea they had 31 points off turnovers, though. We only had 5 off. They had 11 turnovers. We had 5 points. So all theirs are probably dead ball turnovers where we had to run something or go against their zone. So that obviously is a big difference in the game.